Is it working? Okay, hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Riddle School. Next one in line is obviously Riddle School 4, which I do remember that it was like very short. It was something like a prank or something like that. You know, the guy. I am not exactly sure how the discussion went or something like that. He wanted to like stop making these games, and he kind of did this one, which was a prank. But then afterwards, he started working on the next one. So yeah, everything seems to be pretty much similar on it all. Instructions are sorry about that, are pretty much the same. Dialogue balloons, there are way more to use these items. Click it once, it will automatically drag after that, then click somewhere else to use it on a specific far right, where you are, where you've been, where you haven't been. Some rooms cannot be entered, you'll see which ones when you play. Man, this no tab cheating for you. Ha 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 ha, blocks the tab button. Okay. The instructions are way more detailed than other times, were based off on people and events transpiring in this game, and the experiences are either coincidental or unintentional. Now that I really go to a school called Riddle School and try to interview a bald college student about whether he escaped school. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Fun facts. 5 scene, 10 months, lots of items. I probably got more messages in my Newgrounds PM inbox and more comments on my user page blog post about Riddle School 4 than anything else. I said I was never going to make this game, but that was simply the version until I finally released this beast, and now it's out. I certainly won't make any more. Yeah, exactly. This is what I was saying. But it even says like it has autosave. But we will see that. I think it was actually released. Whoa. Accessing, analyzing map system. Cool animations also. Analyzation process complete. Yeah, it was released on like 1st of April, if I remember correctly, 2000 and I don't remember, 8 something, 9. Alright, look at this. Riddle University. Phil, Zach, Matt poster. Whoa, what is this guy doing? Window, math poster. Wow, this is not very. Trash can. What is that? Thermostat. So many weird things, man. Mr. Munch. Okay. That was fast. Wow, we literally fell to the core of the earth? That's impressive to dig a hole that far. Phil's teacher, Mr. Munch, was the original architect of Riddle University. Well, we get a nice sad story over here. The school was built above a long pit of lava that he himself dug near an active underwater volcano. Wow, his plan to murder Phil Eggtree to forever rid him of this world succeeded. So it's so sad. Until you realize that, and no one cared. Until you realize that, tada, it was a prank. But another student of Riddle University eventually died from car wrecks, old age, and unforeseen disasters. Yeah, he really took this one seriously. Thrown on their deathbed, whispered their final wish. Yeah, this one. Please don't let there be any more Riddle School games. Hahaha. So it's weird. It's weird how it went. Stay tuned after the credits to see your time. Oh my god, there's even that thing. Obviously, everything has been made by John Bro, and yeah. But fortunately or unfortunately, depending on on your perspective, he did continue making Riddle School games, and he released actually 3 more of them. And the third one after this was the one where it actually ends the story. The Riddle School Transfer 2, I think it was called, that I haven't played yet. Holy shit, a lot of beta testers for such a short the game. Ninja fans, Cape Artist 101. Man, this should be worth it. spending time over here. So every book has a start and a finish. A series must have a beginning and an end. Ha 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 ha. All the room for another sequel out of this series, so that it too may end. John Grove. Yeah, that's the reason why he killed him, you know, so there wouldn't be any possible sequel to it. Hey, you beat the game in 31 seconds, and you have unlocked the real fun facts and special features that we can now access. Real fun facts. Fun facts change for the accuracy after you beat the game. So yeah, time to make like 2 days, 160 items, 1 accessible room, 2 scenes, no more than 5,000 frames. When I went to San Diego Comic Con for the first time back in 2008, Tom Fall asked me if I had plans to make Riddle School 4, to which I said something along the lines, I'm thinking about making a 4th one. At some point after I started making it, I lost motivation. At the same time, people started making urgent requests for a 4th game. So I decided, even though I told my fans I'd never make the game, that I'd go ahead and make this. As I type this now, I have no clue what the reaction of the Newgrounds public will be, but I hope they enjoy playing it as much as I enjoy making it. I laughed so hard. Oh yes, you did. And we have like audio commentary for the game's ending. No game should ever seriously have a commentary, but John Rowe made one. The making of the Riddle School University plan to kill Phil. Lol rhyme. Build a time machine. Nope. Dig a hole in the lava stream. Build a college on top of it. Request being a teacher there and Reg. Sitting chart for Phil to be on the hole. Angry face. Wow, it actually had the perfect plan of it. Water volcano, lava, long spike pit, college, built it there. Plans by Mr. Munch. Floor is less thick in one location. Set tiny explosives on thinner spots. Remote controlled. Description of Phil egg tree given to me. Bald, looks like this. Always wears green. He needs to sit in the desk closest to the door so I can kill him. So he needs to. My desk feel desk. So he didn't actually know what he looked like or what was all about, what was with him, and that is very interesting because that will come up in next episode. Kill Phil. Now what? Male doing nothing. Least favorite thing to like school, but he thought that it was wise to stay in school anyway and make the best grades he could while not doing very much. He grew up into many effortless occupations such as music conductor, substitute teacher, and abstract artist. One day he fell asleep, face first in a vat of paint. You can guess what happened. Okay. Smiley had a favorite thing education, less favorite thing distraction, and it's a female. That's like the first time we actually see that Smiley is actually a girl. Later, good life. She grew up with a perfect 100 in every one of her classes and had a long time lasting career in biomedical sciences. She got married to the perfect man who just so happened to have a smiley face for a head just like her. Spend the rest of their days together living happily in a treehouse in a beautiful forest. So cliche. Zach, favorite thing, anything not cold. Least favorite thing, freezing into ice. So it turned not to be cold anymore that he bought a plane ticket to the tropics midway into his first year of college, right above a volcanic island. The plane ran into a bed of turbulence and Zach ended up crashing through a window. Fell into an erupting volcano and froze to death. In an erupting volcano. Have Richie. He dropped out of high school, wishing he hadn't paid so much attention to collecting stuff. He was mugged in the dark alley and wake up trapped in a smelly dumpster. Nobody ever found him. 5. Sold t-shirts online for a living, and his talent was eventually realized by a big graphic design company. He made the mistake of asking for a slightly large sum of money, and the company ripped him off and sued him. 5 was put in jail for the next 5 years, and not once for the rest of his life did he have enough money to sue them back. Wow, that's pretty bad. 808, that's the janitor from the first one, and it's 5's dad. Being the janitor at Riddle Elementary School because he loved to clean so much until his son was unfairly sued by a big t-shirt designing company. He realized he need a better paying job and ended up being a garbage boy in France. He was having so much fun that he forgot his son existed. Jesus. Okay, the janitor in Riddle School 2 was locked in his own closet in Riddle Middle School, and one day not long before the school closed down and was replaced with a new one. Ate his mop, drank his dirty mop water, and nibbled on his hat as he was stuck in the darkness of the closet. The last sound he ever heard was the sound of a wrecking ball smashing the walls. Wow, that's pretty sad actually. Claimed that he could hear a prior problem from a mile away, and that was in fact true. His uncanny ability to hear toilet clogs earned him a television show reputation as the perfect-eared plumber. The show was cancelled after 2 years because it was realized nobody had ears. Furious, the janitor leapt off the bridge. Okay. Mr. Cam, oh my god, the guy with madness. Never a very smart person. After the first Riddle school game, he learned about how small the percentage of drinkable water on the planet there was. He decided right then never to drink anything again. The end. Okay, Mrs. Coffee was never a very smart person. She told Mr. Cam that nearly all of the world's water was drinkable, but then she realized she only drank coffee and wasn't really sure how much straight up water was drinkable, so she went to the beach because there's a lot of water in the ocean. She drank as much as she could possibly could. Don't drink salt water, that's stupid. Mrs. Green, 99 cups of coffee on the 100th cup. She died of caffeine overdose. I didn't know that was a thing actually. Teacher in the school one screamed at the school student so loudly that the walls of the room she was in collapsed around her. Nobody knew what to put on her tombstone because nobody knew her name. Mr. Oboe, his favorite thing, his own name, was getting ready to sit down one night at a school play about knights and horses. He was told before the show to hold a sword, which was one of the props. It wasn't really a sword, but ironically he still died from it because the sword was made of allergy medicine, and Mr. Oboe was horribly allergic to that. Greg sleep for 18 of the first 20 years of his life. One day he woke up and realized how much he aged. After panicking, decided to move on. He got a driver's license on his way to the grocery store and had a fatal wreck sleeping at the wheel. Huh. Mrs. Sleep, she once got married and had a son named Greg. Eventually she died sleepwalking off a cliff. There's a math teacher for his entire life is gardening on the roof of a building and was suddenly mugged by a bear who ate him 30 minutes later. Wow, that's really unfortunate. Soggy simply couldn't find his glasses, so he was on his way to get new glasses and got into a fatal car wreck because he couldn't see. Was that the one, with the sleeping guy did it? Mr. Reed was reading a comic book in the Riddle High School library. He was reading the words "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." God damn it, I don't know what's wrong with me. He got a nasty paper cut and lost every inch of blood in his body. Wow, that's ironic, I guess. Fax invented a flying chair and discovered there is no air in space. Okay. Count, monkey hater Miss Count, was bored at her home and decided to look for games on the internet. She found a game called Riddle School 3, which she proceeded to beat twice in a row. Not long after that, she was put in an insane asylum, whispering widely something about the monkey doll curse. Oh my god, remember, don't beat this game 3 times straight or you'll meet a certain fate. Oh god, that's so weird. Oddverb was very tired of people taking one look at her and thinking she was a guy. Oh, it's actually it's a woman. I also thought the Oddverb was a guy, so she went berserk and set fire to a shoe store. She stole a small boat and sailed away from the civilization, never to be seen again. Moses was at a bank and a bank robbery suddenly took place. The robber told her to get the ground. She said the ground was awfully dirty and it wouldn't be good for her new dress. She was shot multiple times and her dress was ruined. Mr. Chestrin, former principal of Riddle Elementary School, was put in prison for life because he physically beat a student's head in. Mr. Counselor of Riddle Middle School, was robbed of all his possessions unexpectedly several weeks later after the event. Notice he didn't have a house. He died of starvation right after that because he also apparently didn't have he had no food. Okay, and Mr. Potato discovered the magic of video games right before Riddle School 3. He did nothing but play video games long after Riddle School 3. He died happily right after beating a game called Riddle School 3. 6 feet under, he's still holding his favorite game controller. That's a man I could get behind. Didn't make it to college, his grades are terrible. He thought to himself, I wonder what gasoline tastes like. His will stated that he wanted to be cremated after his death. What his friends didn't know was that his stomach was still full of gasoline and it doesn't mix too well with fire. Oh god, these supposedly foreign exchange students, these popped in the Riddle University a single time, and after it was as if he completely disappeared from existence. And Chubb, and I guess Chubb's mother. Damn, there's so many characters. School 4 for the rest of his life simply because he got so big his cheeks covered up too much of his mouth for him to eat anything else. He lived an entire century after stopped eating because of his metabolism. It is rumored Earth's most devastating earthquake was caused by Chubb struggling to move. But she felt like she served her son Chubb too much and she didn't know what to do. She discussed her internal struggle with her husband, Mr. Munch, and he said she should just give all of Chubb's food to him. She soon realized she had a terrible husband and divorced him, feeding her son more than ever. And Mr. Munch. Oh, so that was the father. Devastated by the decision of divorce, they started devising a plan to take the life of every one of her friends and acquaintances. He realized that he didn't know much about his former wife as he thought he did, and the only person he could remember her talking to is a kid named Phil Ectree. He killed Phil and later died by overheating. And finally, Phil Ectree. Favorite thing, logical thinking. Falling into lava pits is his least favorite thing. College because he figured it had to be better than elementary, middle, and high school. He went to the newly built Riddle University because it was local, was cheap, and he didn't have any particular plans for the rest of his life, so it didn't matter what class he took. At first, he thought this Riddle school was just like the other three he escaped from. Just when he considered trying to make his fourth escape, found it was completely different. Let's hear the commentary.
I'm John Bro, and this is the commentary for the Riddle School 4 ending, because I wanted to balloon the file size and make it look like the same size as Riddle School 3 or something similar. I wanted to make a commentary just because it seemed like it would be a funny idea to have for the game, because most of the game is a movie. And I figured I would have to make a commentary better than the one for Pain on the Brain 3, because that one sucked. I already had it in my mind that Phil should die in Riddle School 4, because I got so sick of requests for a fourth Riddle School game. And I started one before called Riddle University, but it wasn't going to be very good. I only had planned the first room, which is the one that's seen in Riddle School 4. And I think it was just ripping off of the idea of another game where you had to make a fishing pole out of basic objects like a pencil and I don't remember exactly. So my friend Yoshi Egg came over. He was the other voice in the Pain on the Brain 3 commentary, and I said, I'm gonna make Riddle School 4 tonight. And he's like, alright. So I started with that room, and I started animating Phil falling to his death in a lava pit. There were several ways he could have died, but we figured that was the funniest and the easiest to make. And one of my computers is a flash computer, and one of them is an internet computer, so I have to use the flash drive to go between the two.
Oh.
So I went to Yoshi Egg, who was on the internet computer playing RuneScape, and I said, hey, can I use the computer for a second? I need to find some sad music for when Phil dies.
Oh.
It was funny. He said I could never imitate exactly how I sounded whenever I said that, but I tried, so... in one night, this game was born, mostly this movie, and we laughed our heads off watching the ending. Well, that's really about it. I need to think of more to say. The real reason I made this game was because I wanted to see the reaction on Newgrounds. When I was starting to make the first game out of the series, I wasn't picturing at all that I would ever make something like this. I was just trying to make a ripoff of Pico's School by Tom Holt. And now it's a 4-parter where he dies. This is the best game ever.
Not funny, man.
This is my favorite of the whole series, and it always will be. I'm gonna try to scream like Phil again. No, that's not quite it. Oh.
Oh my god. So the reason why he made this commentary at the end was to actually like fill in like space, because on Newgrounds you can see like I'm not sure if it's still available. Yeah, it's not anymore, but before you could actually see like how big the game was, in file size. So he basically tried to like fill up file size by adding all those like things, the plans, the stories, and this video commentary. So just that it would be as long as Riddle School 3, so nobody would expect that it was actually a prank, but it was. So yeah, this is pretty much Riddle School 4. So haha, it was a prank. I'll This video has gone enough pretty long already as I sit down and like read all of those things. And Riddle School 5 that comes up next is like very, very long actually. So I'll have to end this episode here. And yeah, I'll see you next time with the next Riddle School game basically. So hope you guys enjoyed watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.